Let me help you prevent some neck and back pain at home. That's what we're going to talk about here. I'm Dr. Scott Fuller, preventing neck and back pain at home. As we get into that, I want to give you a couple of reminders. One is, I talk a lot about this in my book, Happy Back. So in Happy Back, I wrote that in 2007. I go into taking care of yourself at home and at work and driving your car and doing exercises and how to exercise and so on and so forth. So check out my book, Happy Back. It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble. It's on Amazon's Kindle. You can buy it at my office in Woburn, Massachusetts. Great book, 140 pictures, very helpful, a nice companion to what we're going to talk about here. The next thing is, I've been polling a lot of my patients, and as I ask them, as they're going along and I'm giving them recommendations, I'll ask them about their spine exercises. Now on this show in the past, I've done many shows on spine exercises, and my recommendation is do a set in the morning and a set at night. That's my bare minimum recommendation. So it takes about a minute and a half, 2 minutes in the morning, minute and a half, 2 minutes at night. Basically as you're brushing your teeth. The same amount of time you brush your teeth, stretch your spine. What I've found most consistently is the majority of my patients are saying they're doing their exercises once a day. So my best recommendation is up that to twice per day, particularly if you have a lingering neck problem or back problem. Just simply do a set in the morning and a set at night. I'm finding most patients are doing a set in the morning because that tends to be our regimented time. We get up, we do 3 or 4 things, out the door we go, right? And then at nighttime our schedules are a little more in flux, so we forget to do things. Pick up those spine exercises, do a set in the evening, and if you need a reminder, go to my YouTube page. We have the videos there on stretching your spine. Okay, at home. First up, kitchen. Cooking and at the sink. Let me demonstrate. So, here we are at a sink, like so. Stovetop, cooking, and so forth. We tend to bend over and do this, right? Look familiar? Sure, we do a lot of this, right? Like a lot of you, my back hurts if I do this for a prolonged period. So what I discovered when I was 15 years old, I got a dishwashing job at a restaurant. And of course I was bent over like this, washing pots and pans for hours, and then my back was hurting. I thought, well, this is crazy, what's going on? So I was already going to my chiropractor. I had been going to my chiropractor since I was a child. So I'd go to my chiropractor, get a great adjustment, feel good, and then I'd go back and work again, and my back is killing me. I'm like, this is crazy. I figured out at age 15 that if I spread my feet like so, okay, if I spread my feet like this, now my back doesn't hurt anymore as I'm washing pots and pans, and now I've carried this over to preparing food at home and cooking and so forth. If you have to move from one location to another, you just simply move. Here I am at the stovetop doing our thing. I move back over to the counter. Here I am here doing dishes, doing prep work, whatever it is. Just come out of that, come on back over, move, and then back like this again. The difference is you're not bending forward at the waist any longer. This would hurt your back over time, and this you're going to feel much better. I had a patient about 10 years ago. She was doing well with chiropractic care. She had some back issues, and she said, Dr. Fuller, I'm dreading this weekend. I said, how come? Well, I'm having a dinner party, and I'm going to be cooking for 4 or 5 hours before everybody comes over, and I know my back is going to be killing me. And I said, no problem. I said, do Dr. Fuller's Spread Eagle special and report in next week and see what you think, right? So she did this. She came in the next week, and she said, excellent. I feel fantastic. That worked great. The only trick with this is if you have stocking feet on a tile or linoleum floor, that's not going to work so well, right? So just make sure you plan for that, prepare for it, stick your sandals or slippers on or sneakers or whatever it is, just so you're nice and stuck right in position like so. That's going to go a long way. You're going to see this being a recurring theme in several of the things that we're going to be doing is getting into that position. Okay? If this is unavailable to you, at least maybe open up the cabinet and put one foot in like this. That's going to change things a little bit. Okay? What some people will do is they'll get into a little bit of a squat position. More on that in a moment. Okay? So that's the kitchen. In the bathroom, similar deal, but with a couple of changes. So here's the bathroom sink. Here we are shaving, washing our face, brushing teeth, right? Typically we would do it like this. Here we are bent to the big hinge, causing some lower back irritation. Has this ever bothered you? For a lot of you, the answer is yes, myself included, this kind of thing. One thing I do is when I'm brushing my teeth, I just brush standing up. And if it dribbles all over me, big deal, wipe it off and who cares, right? But if you have to get down to spit or shave or wash your hands, the idea is you've already seen me do it. Don't do it like this, but get into a mini squat, like so. And notice I'm really sticking my rear end out. That's the key. Putting the pressure into the legs, not bending forward at the waist. This is the way to do it, you see? So, in a squat position. Now, if your bathroom is big enough and you don't, again, have stocking feet on a slippery floor, and you can go back and do this position again, that's going to help somewhat. But to get lower down into the sink, get into a squat position like this. Now, for those of you with long hair, I'm telling you this for a reason. If you're, let's say, a woman, long hair and you're blow drying, right? And then you flip your hair up like this. Bad news. I've seen this happen many times. So you're down like this, usually in the morning, spine is not warmed up, right? And you up like this, you flip the neck back, boom, neck pain, sharp neck pain, and you come in the office like this, okay? I've seen it a lot. So if you have long hair and you're blow drying like this, find another way to come up slowly and do it like so. It'll save you a couple of days or a week or two of neck pain, emergency visits to my office, and so forth, okay? Great little trick, so keep that in mind. Okay, bedroom. Making your bed. I've seen this happen a lot. Beds, here they are, they're stuffed in the corner against the wall, difficult to get to. Fitted sheets, getting to the different corners gets difficult at times, okay? So we tend to put ourselves in precarious positions, bent over like this, trying to jam it up and lift the mattress and so forth when you're stripping the bed or putting it back together again, right? So in those couple of corners that are trickier, I have seen people wrench their back, coming in with the same problem. Or they'll say, yeah, every time I make the bed, my back hurts. So we have to get creative. Here we have a big bed, right? Let's say it's a corner that's a little tricky. Instead of just reaching like so, a couple of options. One is a lunge position. So if you don't have space to do this, and you don't have space to get into a squat, maybe you need to get into a lunge position. So you get down like this, bend your knees, and reach. That's one way to do it. At least some of the pressure is into the legs now, you see? Instead of only reaching like that. Secondly, is you might climb up on your bed, shimmy over to the corner, and then place it in. So you imagine I'm on top of the bed right now and squeezing that fitted sheet over the corner. And then you can come off the bed and then straighten things out at the end. So you put the difficult corners in first, the ones that are more difficult to get to, either off to the side with a lunge, with a squat, or getting onto the bed and doing it. Do the difficult sides. Then you can pull into the sides where you have a little more leeway to get into a squat, a lunge position or squat position to do those corners, okay? Very important. As silly as it sounds, people are coming in consistently hurting themselves doing these things. So now you're in bed and you're watching TV, and people will prop themselves up. The first thing is get your TV out of your bedroom, okay? I know you really are just so interested to watch my show, and you want that on there right to the last minute. I got that. I understand. I got that. But the TV should be out of the bedroom, seriously. Okay, so for those of you that won't do that, you're propping yourself up on pillows, watching the TV like this for whatever, how long, 20 minutes, an hour, or something like that, right? Well, look what this position is doing, right? And then a lot of you might fall asleep in that position. So you're going to be like this even longer, and that's a problem. And then people come into me like this, wondering what happened, okay? So once again, it's perpetuating that poor posture deal. Best idea is get the TV out of the bedroom. Second is maybe you should lie on your stomach and prop your head up like this. Maybe with a pillow or two underneath your pelvis to lift that up and take pressure off your lower back, if you're comfortable in that position. I'm not comfortable on my stomach like that unless my pelvis is propped up on a pillow or two, and I don't have my TV in my bedroom. But anyway, so you can maybe go in that direction. I've had several people try lying on their stomach instead. Much, much better. The same rule goes for being in bed with a laptop, sitting like this, and again, pillows behind you, propped up like this. You tend to be really exaggerating this position, or even a phone, right? Using a stupid phone, a smartphone like this, okay? So that's going to perpetuate that deal. Maybe consider getting the laptop out of the bedroom. You're probably not going to take your phone out of the bedroom, so I won't go there. But sit up and do it. Lie on your stomach and do it. Get out of that crunch position like this, which you're going to fall asleep in and then end up in my office for emergency chiropractic. Okay? So let's get away from those positions as well. This is what we call now text neck. So we see a lot of people walking around like this. And then if you're lying on your bed and doing it some more, it's the same pattern that we need to really get away from. So now the living room. If you've taken my advice and you've moved the TV from the bedroom to the living room, great deal. But then you tend to have a cushy couch. Imagine this is a couch. So you sit on the couch, you sink in like this, and you sink in like this, right? And now you're watching my excellent show like this, and you're messing your spine up, your neck and your back, right? And then people come into me like this. So once again, it's perpetuating that bad position, right? So we have to get away from this deal. If you have the ability to give away or sell your couch and get something firmer that would hold you up like so, right? Great situation. If you're unable to do that, drag in a chair either from your home office or from the dining room, something that's going to prop you up like this. In the least, grab a couple of throw pillows, stuff them behind you here in the mid-back area, so that will push you like this and prop you up like so, right? Because you want to be sitting like this for a while, not the cushy couch syndrome. Cushy couch-itis, right? Like this. That really does a lot of people in, and they tell me, gosh, I feel terrible when I get out of the couch. I can't even get out of the couch when I'm in there. I see that all the time. Kids that are sitting on the couch for a long time playing video games, right? So they sit like this, and they've got their video games and doing their thing for hours, right? And this is just perpetuating the smartphone deal and the laptop and computer situation. So it's all building us into this scenario here, which is why when most of us get older, we tend to look like this, right? So we're trying to break that with different ways of sitting and being at home and so forth. Okay. Oh, that's right. I wanted to tell you this. Commercials. When you're watching, now luckily my show doesn't have commercials. This is great, right? But if you're watching shows that have commercials, here's what I recommend. Mute it, stand up, great time to do your stretches. Okay? So commercial breaks are stretching breaks. Commercial breaks are workout breaks. Get up and do all the stuff you've learned from me. Hit the deck, roll your knees, pull your knees up, child's pose, cat stretch, whatever. Do some yoga things for a couple of minutes, and then turn the show back on when it comes on. Commercial breaks are stretch breaks. Love it. Try that. You're going to love that. Okay. Home office. Home office is just like my recommendations, like you're at the workplace. So I have that video and show that I did on here. It was called Sitting Ergonomics. If you go to my YouTube page, you can review that show. But very briefly, it's the same deal. Here's a laptop. Here's a computer. So the first thing to do, the simple one, is to change the structure of your workstation to get monitors up. Laptop stands, I have one at home now, fantastic. So I can sit and use it, and I can stand and use it. It's really good. I like those. That's a great idea. But get your material up here. More important than just having a good functioning workstation is breaks. You have to take breaks. And what I tell people is set your phone for every 20 minutes. What I do on Sundays in particular, I tend to spend a lot of time at home reading and writing and researching. I'll set my kitchen timer away from me for 20 minutes, forcing me to get up. I got to go shut it off, reset it, and then here I am already up. I might as well go ahead and do some stretches. So I'll do a few of these and those and whatever. Come back to work, do my thing. 20 minutes later it goes off. I have to get up again. And I do recommend every 20 minutes, even if you get up for 10 seconds. 10 seconds would be really helpful. Do a couple of stretches, right? A couple of twists, my posture stretches that I recommend, and then back to work you go. Set your computer for a rotating meeting if that works. Set your cell phone. Don't shut off your cell phone and keep working. Reset your cell phone, get up and actually do some stretches and so forth. I like the timer that's away because you cannot ignore it. You have to go over there and answer it. I like that. So better work positions and frequent breaks to move and stretch. Great idea. Okay. Groceries. This is a common one. So you go to the store and you get a dozen plastic bags. Well, first of all, we're going to get away from plastic bags, right? And certain towns, and it's going to be happening more and more, where cities are going to outlaw plastic bags, and I think that's a great thing. Plastic just lasts for thousands of years in the environment, and I think our great-great-great-grandchildren are going to look back and said, what was that generation thinking, producing all this plastic? Anyway, I do love the canvas bags, right? Those heavier handled bags, as long as you don't fill them up too big and too heavy, so they're difficult to handle, but they're just so much nicer to carry. Anyway, so you show up at home, you've got a dozen plastic bags. How many of you have done this, right? I'm going to put on 1 and 2 and 3 and 8 and 10. Okay, I got them all. And then you bust your way into your house and you're struggling with the keys and you're trying to get in and put them all down, and you're like, oh, the next morning you can't get out of bed, and then you call me up for emergency chiropractic care, okay? So what I recommend is use groceries into the house as upping your steps on your pedometer, okay, on your Fitbit or whatever you might have. Oh, I need 400 steps right now. So you grab 2 bags, you walk your way in, put them down. Walk your way back, grab 2 more bags, walk in like this. Okay, I'm going to get my steps in for the day. Here we go. That's right. So you make 5 trips back and forth. The people that have done this love it. They think it's great. I'm getting exercise. Oh, well, I got to go up and down stairs. I say, great, do stairs, if you can do stairs. So do stairs, and they're up and down the stairs, and they're getting half their workout by carrying in 2 bags at a time, not 12. And they're not hurting themselves. I have had people carrying them in, injuring their shoulder, their neck, and their back. The other thing about groceries is water, carrying in water. If you're doing cases of water bottles, where do they tend to end on the shopping cart? On the bottom. And that's bad. And I have had people come into me for the first time in their lives, first time into chiropractic care. And what happened? I lifted a case of water bottles off the grocery cart into my car, and then I went home and I lifted them from the car into the house, and boom, they did it in. So that heavy lift down here. My best recommendation is get a water filter. I think a water filter is a great idea for home. So do your research. What I have at home is I have a slow drip water filter. Okay, it's called a Berkey, B-E-R-K-E-Y. You can check it out. There are other very good ones, I'm sure, out on the market. This is one that I just happened to choose. I did some homework. And it has a slow drip system. It also has fluoride filters on there that you can purchase for extra. I don't know why we put fluoride in our water. It's not helping teeth, and it's really bad for our insides of our bodies, including our thyroid. Anyway, so you want to take the fluoride out of your water. And you want to stay away from water filters that produce water quickly. So if you put the water in and within a minute you've got a nice full tank of water, it's probably not going to be clean enough for you. The water doesn't have enough time to contact the media inside the filter to do the job. Okay? So you want something that's at least slow drip. And now companies are making countertop models which are reverse osmosis. So you don't need any plumbing or anything additional. You just plug in a countertop model, reverse osmosis. You can also do distilled water. I know the jury's still out. Do I do reverse osmosis or do I do distilled? If you're going to do distilled, you have to mix in some minerals and electrolytes at the end. So just keep that in mind. Do your homework. But you've got countertop models that will prevent this nastiness of lifting bottles of water into your house, and all of that plastic. Plus the water that you're drinking is in the plastic, and you're going to get plastic residues. Even if the plastic is BPA free, you still want to stay away from plastic as best you can. Okay? So anyways, that will help you about the water situation. Okay, next up, I'm going to talk about cleaning now. Cleaning your house. So this is very important. This is where people really get messed up. So cleaning your house. One of my friends said, just don't clean. He said, just have somebody else do it. I thought, that's the ultimate great idea. Anyway, for a lot of us, that's not practical. Vacuuming. So on a prior show, I did a vacuuming show. Go to my YouTube page, look at the vacuuming video. It's really good. It's funny, serious messages on there. Here's the synopsis. Here's the vacuuming position. People will vacuum their house for an hour or two, and they come into me all broken. Okay? So what do? You get into a squat position. You change hands. you vacuum a little bit over here, you move, you vacuum a little bit over here, you move, you vacuum a little bit over here. So now you're getting a leg workout, right? A leg workout, change your hands, and so forth. So go look at that video. I'd rather have you have tired legs than a sore back, okay? Sweeping and mopping. So here's my broom, mop, shovel, and so forth. So sweeping, same type of thing. If you're doing a broom like this, you could bend over slightly at the waist, and we do it like that. Same deal. Let's get into a squat position, like so. What I also like doing is changing the hands on here, going with the quote-unquote weak side, right? And using the broom like this, getting into a squat position, right? Moving your legs like this. If it's a tighter area, you can be like a dancer and at least come down like this. That's way better than doing it like so. And like so, bending forward at the waist, causing the back problem. Squat, lunge, dancer, whatever it takes to move this around and not be bending at the waist. Remember to change your hands on here. Let's say it's a hockey stick, I would be like so. Well, I'm going to start going with the unfamiliar side and start doing it like that. Much better way to go. Same thing with mopping. We tend to mop like this, bending forward at the waist and so forth. Get yourself into the lunge, the squat, okay? Again, dancers pose to get into a tighter area, whatever it is. Sweeping and mopping. Okay. Carrying laundry. So we're still at home. We're still doing our home activities. Carrying laundry. This is an important one. What we tend to do, moms are like this, moms with kids, and if moms are doing the laundry, I see this a lot. Big buckets of laundry, big bag, lugging it down the stairs, putting it in, and then grabbing large loads of wet clothes now, much heavier, into the dryer, depending on the setup and the scenario, and they're just really hurting themselves, reaching into the washing machines, lugging it over like this. You have to slow down and take your time. If you're going into the basement and it's dry clothes, just let it go down the stairs, right? I know a lot of people do that. Or if you have a huge load, just like the groceries deal, take it in pieces up and down. I'd rather have you do 2 or 3 flights of stairs than hurting yourself trying to lug that heavy one down there. And yes, there have been people that have come to me that were lugging something heavy, trying to get down the stairs, and they fall. Because now you're less able to move around quickly and so forth. Okay? So take smaller loads. And then when you're taking it out of the washer and they're heavier, going into the dryer, do it slower. Get yourself, again, here's the washer, get yourself into a squat position, start taking smaller handfuls and putting it into the dryer. Happens a lot. Some people that they need to transfer into a container to bring it over to the dryer. Again, it's heavier, just go slower, smaller loads, very important. Okay. Cleaning the bathroom. This is important. I had a patient who has a smaller bathroom and there's some tight spaces in there, so she had to really kind of monkey herself into a weird position to get behind the toilet and so forth and cleaning, and she did her back in like that. And I said, well, you really can't be doing that. She says, I can't think of another way to get in there. And I made the suggestion, so here's the toilet. I said, get down on your knees and then reach in like this. And that might prevent that precarious position. She said, worked perfect. Now this also carries over to do in the bathtub. Okay? So a lot of people will stand, reach into the bathtub in the scrubbing like so, right? I say, particularly if you want to protect your knees, take the little carpet, fold it up, put it right in front of you for a little knee pad. You're right in front of the bathtub, and then now you get in there. Hold yourself up with one hand, scrub with one hand, switch, scrub with the other, and so forth, right? So doing that is a much better position than trying to stand and get down that low. And even trying to get in a spread eagle and squat is a little bit better, but I think actually getting on your knees and doing it like that is the best case scenario for doing that. Okay, I think that covered cleaning the inside of your house. That's pretty good. Do you want me to come over and clean the inside of your house? All right, let's move to the yard. The yard I've talked about in the past. Raking, sweeping, shoveling is the same thing. Here's a typical rake, right? Bending at the waist and reaching. It's the same message. Squat and pull. Switch hands, pull the other way. Move, squat, pull. Same thing over here, and then move. or some people will rake a little bit taller and kind of drag it to them like this, and a little bit smaller strokes like so. Okay, that's a better way to do it than, again, bending forward at the waist and doing it like that. Sweeping is the same way. If you have a larger broom, you can keep it tighter up here and sweep like so. Or if you're going to be doing it the old-fashioned way, then go ahead and get into a squat position, or at least a lunge position, not this one. Okay? Shoveling is the same thing. I have a snow shoveling video. We've done that on this show here in the past, so you can review that. As a quick review, here's a typical shovel, whether it's dirt or snow. Okay? Bending forward at the waist and lifting with the back. Okay? My recommendation is starting your day on the weak side, meaning if you typically have your hands like this, switch, get used to the new side, if you will, squat position, and then lift and throw with the legs and the arms. Lift and throw with the legs and the arms. So you're not using your back. Same thing on this side, lift and throw with the arms and legs. Okay? Arms and legs are doing the work. So you're coming up and down in the squat position, and your back is not moving. So at the end of the day, your legs are tired, excellent, but your back is not torn up, and that's very important. Okay, 2 years ago, here we are in Woburn, Massachusetts, Boston area, and 2 years ago, this winter of 2014-2015, and we just had piles of snow everywhere, right? A lot of shoveling happened. My patient base did really well. I thought I might see an uptick in back injuries from that terrible winter that we had. And my patients did really well because I kept reminding them on every visit on to do it, review my video. I sent out the video by email over and over again. We did really well. Actually, I saw fewer injuries that winter than I would have expected. Okay, lastly, home workouts. People working out at home. I have other videos and other shows that I've done on this. Go review my safe workout videos and so forth. But people are doing a lot more of these workouts at home. Yoga, Pilates, all of these high-intensity interval training exercises and so forth. So my recommendation is to take your time with these workouts, build up slowly. Not every exercise is appropriate for every person. So even in yoga, great intention, great stuff. I do yoga, but for myself, if I do any back extension, that bothers me, so I just skip that. A lot of you might fall into that category. Don't do that, do something else. Don't try to keep up with the super bendy, very fit people that you see on the CDs, because that will be a problem. That's when you injure yourself. So go easy, start easy and ramp up slowly. Don't try to keep up with everyone else. I know we're all well-meaning, the trainers and the programs, and we as participants all want to get fit and strong, but remember that not every exercise is appropriate for every person. And I also wanted to remind you that you cannot out-exercise your mouth. So if you're trying to, let's say, lose weight, just exercising without changing nutrition, I think you're going to be very frustrated. Okay? If you get one of those super-duper coffee frap things with cream and sugar and chocolate syrup and everything like that, that's like 500 calories. If you and I work out at a moderate aerobic intensity for an hour, we've just burned 300 calories. Who's going to win that, right? Well, hopefully this show was helpful to you. Thank you to Lauren and Jennifer for helping me out. I'm Dr. Scott Fuller. Please join me again.